Welcome back to another podcast session with Raise Your Vibes. Thank you for tuning in. Lately, I've been doing quite a lot of podcasts on narcissistic behaviour, gaslighting, problems within relationships. And that's because this seems to be quite a current theme at the moment with people and their phases in their lives. And, more and more, you have individuals that have broken up with their partners, whether it's months ago, whether it's recently, whether it's years ago, and they're still essences, beings, patterns that keep coming back to trigger us. And it's interesting to try and look at why these individuals are still trying to cause us, the person that's been involved with them through their journey, the person that stepped back, the person that stepped away, the person that stepped forward, or the person that's just tried to simply rebuild their life. They are then again caught up in this masquerade of pain, this masquerade of trauma. And, they're sort of put back into that situation again and reliving those experiences again. You think that pain is almost like a scar that's on your body. You've, taken the plaster off. It hurts, it stings. But then you've slowly allowed that wound to heal. And unfortunately, when you hear of the comments and you hear of the gaslighting and the narcissistic sort of traits and qualities that individual is trying very hard to, attack you, because it's attacking, isn't it? You wonder why. Now, as human beings, we go into, I've mentioned this before, we go into flight mode, we go into resistance mode, we go into survival mode, and we also go into emotional wreck mode. One particular word, one particular phrase from that person who's been so traumatic in our life can really trigger us. It can give us anxiety. It can make us go back into that relationship, even though we physically left. Mentally, the scars are still there. Emotionally, the scars are still there. Nowadays, people don't realise, they think that, abuse is physical abuse, domestic abuse. It's not. It's a wide spectrum of abuse. You've got so many aspects: financial abuse, emotional abuse, there's trauma from so many different realms that come in. And when this individual is going out of their way to say things about you that are not true at all, it can trigger you. It can trigger you back. It can make you go backwards instead of going forwards. And what you've got to try to do is very, 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 very difficult, by the way. It's not an easy thing to do. You have to try to detach. You have to try and take a step back. You have to try and look at things from a different angle, almost like you're looking at it from, the top of the room, the top of the building, and detach and think, what is this person gaining by saying this falsehood about me, this false information about me? Why is it also still hurting me if I'm supposedly over this relationship? I'm not invested in it anymore. If you look at those things, those questions, you'll realise there's a lot of power involved here. There's the id, the ego, there's the complex, there's the narcissism, there's the gaslighting, but there's also the good, the bad, the ugly, as I keep saying. This individual is trying nothing but to demean you, to make you suffer, to make you hurt. But while ever the finger is pointed at you, the innocent party, the other individual is not looking at themselves. They're not evaluating their behaviour. They're not correcting their behaviour. They're not even addressing their behaviour. They don't see anything wrong with what they're doing. And that shows you their narcissistic qualities. That's also the ego as well taking over. They're determined to continue, and they're determined to belittle, to degrade, to humiliate. And this is part of their complex personality, because they don't have physical hold over you anymore. They don't have that mental hold over you anymore. So when they do these particular situations of, oh, so-and-so was like this and so-and-so did this when we were in a relationship, completely falsehood. The fact that they know it's going to come back to you and hurt you, they're winning. They're winning. And we are in a vulnerable state when we're the person involved. It hurts us. It traumatizes us. It's almost like ripping off the plasters, like I said earlier, off your arm and seeing that wound has opened up and it's weeping and it's mourning and it's stinging again. We've allowed that person to take our power back from us. And instead, it doesn't matter whether you're male or female, we should be allowing ourselves to be empowered instead. Not powerless. We have to be empowered.